I think it'd add a lot of value.
Yeah, definitely. And we live, by the way. But yeah, I can do that. I can take that task.
Nice, thanks, Zep. Okay, well then let's get this party started. Well, I want to praise Tam, of course, for always giving a great retrospective call. Those things add more value than we could ever imagine, I think. I also want to praise Wonka. I'm sure everyone's going to praise Wonka for the awesome, team and TEA presentation. So that was super cool. And I want to praise Sam and Paulo and Lauren and Vitor and Nuggin and Bradley for all their work getting the Common Swarm sorted for the final launch. Everyone has TEC tokens, and I mean I don't think I can praise that crew enough. A special praise to Paulo and Sam for really digging in and doing all this extra testing that was so critical for us to have confidence in everything working. And I also want to extra praise Nuggin for helping with Param's stuff. Okay, I'll pass it to Acid Laser.
Thank you. So I want to praise Chris and Mitch for today's trial quant session and all the work they are doing at Reward Systems. Praise Sep quantifier of onboarding document and record all the calls and upload. Praise Tam, Chewy, and Juanca for their contributions this week at Twitter planning, and special praise to Tam for showing us Airtable and having better organization. Praise Juanca for representing the TC at the Token Engineering Introduction event. And praise Manu for keep doing the working groups weekly update. And praise Chewy for all the work he's doing, for he's giving for all the teams that comes. And I'll pass it to Dean.
Thank you, sir. I don't have the full list of them, but I'm going to praise everybody that attended orientation yesterday and made the effort to be a part of this process. I don't praise much, but I'm going to praise them. And we'll pass it on to Mr. Benz.
Hey, I'd like to praise Mitch and Christopher for the quant trial this morning. You guys did a fantastic job. Everyone else who was involved with that as well did a really good job of making something that's complicated pretty intuitive. So great job there. And praise Wonka for the presentation with TEA and our group. So I'll pass it to Durgadas.
Yeah, I'd like to praise all the stewards and in particular Chewy and Wonka. I'd like to praise Jeremy for showing up with some cool ideas. I'd like to praise Griff and Tam for their steadfastness. Zeptimus for seeming like an endless fountain of enthusiasm on every damn call. I don't know how he does it. It's honestly Energizer Bunny or something. Yeah, and I'm out of steam on that. Oh, and Livy for being the kind of emotional core of the TEC. And I'll pass it to somebody who knows who should pass it to.
That's me. Let's throw it to Tam.
All right, cool. So I feel like I'm going to miss a bunch of people here, but just the whole Common Swarm team, like the thrill of seeing TEC tokens in our wallets, can only be expressed with like excited gesticulations. Sem, Paulo, Griff, everyone. The reward system team, it's such one of the most important of our cultural practices. Christopher, Livia, Mitch, Nug, and Vi, everyone I've missed. Ivy, Livia, Gideon, and Christopher providing some really key feedback on content that's coming out soon. Christopher, Mitch, and Livia for hosting the qualifier session today. Wonka, Peter, Angela, Patty for teaching newcomers about token engineering and the introduction to token engineering. Livia for showing that vulnerability is also a strength and being such a model in the TEC, and Manu for the working group update on the forum. And I'll pass to Nate.
Thanks, Tam. So I want to praise Livia for being a calming presence and organizing all our voting procedures for the TEC. I think it's really amazing what she does. I want to praise Tam for the leadership you exhibit day in and day out for this community. I want to praise Chewy for moving forward with the structure of the Team DAO as a service DAO within the TEC. I want to praise Wonka for an amazing TE presentation. I want to praise Manu for stepping up as a leader within the HubSpot team. I want to praise Benz for his presence and contributions to multiple working groups. Griff, Lauren, Sim, and the whole deployment team for this Commons upgrade, Paolo. Praise you guys. I want to praise Gene for stepping up in so many ways, including your role in the team DAO. I want to praise Edu for being such an all-star with the onboarding new members. I want to praise Durgadas for his knowledge. I want to praise Ratio and Jeremy for getting involved with the TEC. Praise Rochelle for all the work she does in the background. And praise Gideon and Letty for their articles coming out soon. And I will pass it over to Edu.
Thank you, Nate. I want to dish praise to my favorite nickname from this call, Jeremy and this Gospel of Change. I love that name. I want to dish praise to Durgaras for joining our calls and providing support and help with people interested in the cultural build. I want to dish praise to Shui to always keep pushing through and always pushing the team's efforts. I want to dish praise to everyone who joined the orientation call this week. The list is a little bit too long, so I will just type it in. I want to dish praise to Nate that also shows support, and he's always on point with the mission, vision, values, and orientation call. So kudos to him. And I want to dish praise to Sam, to Griff, to Lauren, to Mitch, to Danny Bell, and to I'm missing someone who were so welcoming on Costa Rica. Thank you so much, guys. And I will pass it on to Livia.
Thanks, Edu. I want to praise YGG for an incredible CAD class he just gave. Pedro Pajacha for building a very elegant model of the TEC reward system. Manu for the consistency of his contributions. Christopher, Vivavi, Mitch, Septimus, MS, Nuggin, Octopus, and myself for the contributions to the reward system and this first praise Quant. Praise Griff for being on top of every process about the Commons upgrade and for communicating to everyone with his usual enthusiasm. Praise Patty, Heater, Tim, Angela, Juanca, and MS for making the TE and TEC call happen and be a success. I praise Tim for being a straight Trent pillar for this community and for always having the right thing to say. And I'll pass to Jonas.
Thank you. I want to praise AC Laser, Chuy Garcia, Alan TV, Mario Rosso, and Pap for attending the animation and video production call and giving their ideas in that little brainstorm that we have over that day. And I'll pass it to Alan TV.
Thank you, Jonas. I want to praise the animation team, Mario Rosso, Jonas, Acid Laser, because as always, we were able to make more progress this week. Obviously, I would like to praise Chewy for the organization. And I also want to praise Septimus for giving us his first draft of the script about reward system. And praise everyone in the community. And that's it. I pass it to Mario Rosso.
Thank you. I didn't know that I have to praise someone. Well, I want to praise Chewy to do an amazing job, amazing welcome on the animation and video production team. And of course to Edu that always is so friendly and colleague on the orientation call. And I'll pass it to Juanca.
Thank you, Carlos. Well, I would like to praise Lynn, Jenner, Remy, Bianca, Manu, Durgadas, Morgan, Septi, for being interested in participating in the activities that we're planning for Gravity for the following months. I would also like to praise Sam for coming to Colombia. We are having a good time. I would like to praise Chewy for being a fireman and identifying spammers in our Discord. I would also like to praise Griff, Paulo, and Sam for the Commons upgrade. I would like to praise Peter for inviting to the TE event, and also to Tam for helping me with the slides. Also, praise to the reward system group, Livia, Mitch, and Christopher, and Mateo. And I will pass it to Nate.
Shucks, I've already got it. I will pass it over to John Jonas.
He already went too.
Yeah, he went too. Okay, Zep, you take it.
Yeah, I can take it. I want to give praise to Griff, Sam, Paulo, Nagen, Victor, and Bradley for the amazing and smoothly launch of the TC. We all have TC tokens now. I want to give praise to Tam for the amazing retrospective. I want to give praise to Livy, Mitch, and Christopher for really taking the flag and carry the reward system. I want to give praise to Juan, Heater, probably also Griff, for all the amazing ways to engage with Gravity, that the opportunities. Wow, I still have 10 seconds. I want to give praise to Chewy for leading these comms. Leading the comms, it takes so much effort and it's a very big crew. Nice Glazer for the designs, and I'll pass it to Ratio 13.
It's my first praise, so I will praise Zepti and Ivy for informing me about TEC. Praise Tam for acknowledging me and welcoming me 2 weeks ago in the TEC. And I know and praise Edu also for the rooms or the meetings that he hosts. And I know there are other people I'm missing, but I would like to praise the whole community for being so inviting. And I'll pass it to Jeremy the Gospel Change.
I want to praise Wonka. I want to praise Manu. I want to praise Durgadas for helping reach out and just get me grounded in this motherfucker. I want to praise Nate and Edu for a super dope orientation call yesterday. Actually, I want to praise Juan Carlos again for that radical call at the Token Engineering Academy. I just want to praise everybody for literally creating this space for me to come in and do my shit and literally have this be the least toxic place I've ever been able to do this work in my entire life. So, and let alone, it's just, man, it's so much fun. I like you guys. Who's next?
I can pass it for you. How about Chewy?
Thank you, Griff. I'd like to praise the whole Common Swarm crew for their epic work around the hatch, the bonding curve, EVM CRISPR, all of their projects. I believe are really gonna change a lot of stuff in the space. Griff, Seven, Polo for the hard work around the token launch. Edu and Tam for Communitas Progress. Acid Laser, Alan TV, John Jonas for kickstarting work for the reward system animation video. Christopher, Libby, Mitch, MS, V for their great results with quantifications in the reward system. Mount Manu, Gene, Durgadas, and Nate for HubSpot's hopefully soon marketing team in their initiative to make this happen. Pop for stepping in with great tips for the animation team. And Septi and Ivy for keeping transparency innovative. And I'll pass it to YGG.
Thanks, Chewy. Hey, everyone. I want to praise Tamara, Octopus, and V for being really incredible leaders in the space, always taking initiative and kind of showing a way forward, and always having very upbeat attitudes and motivational to the people around them. And I also want to praise Metaverde for leading the tech labs, continuing and I think growing momentum. I think it's become quite the phenomenon. Solidity development workshops in the tech labs. So that's really exciting. We're going to have a whole batch of Solidity trained token engineering, smart contract developers coming out of the labs. So it's pretty cool. And I'll pass it over to you, Griff, to swing it. Thanks, everyone.
Sure. Let's throw it to your partner in crime, Liam. Is Liam still here?
Wow, yeah, I am here. Hope everyone can hear me. I was having mic issues earlier.
Yeah, we
can I
hear
just
ya.
praise the entire token engineering community for cultivating this awesome space? I think that's the best I can speak to in this moment. And of course, Mr. Anderson here for his diligent hours and being my colleague here.
Nice. Thanks for jumping in, Liam. I'll sling it for you to Livia.
I've gone already.
Oh, my bad. I do have you twice here. How about Maddie? Maddie G?
Hey guys, apologies. I'm pretty new here. I'm just kind of listening in. I really appreciate you all and what you're doing. Just kind of trying to figure out how to plug into the community.
No worries. Welcome to the party, Maddie G. How about Shah? You might be our last one. Shah, are you there? Or did I miss Shah left? Benz, did you go to? I think I have you down, but I want to make sure. Did you get a chance, Benz? I'll take that as a yes.
Yes, I did. Thanks.
Okay, cool. Great. So then we can get this. Oh, no, actually, we have one more. Ushua Silver just slid in. Usha, we do this praise thing. Is there anyone in the TEC that you'd like to show some gratitude to and say that they did a good job? No. Sorry to call you out like this, just sliding into a call, Ushua, but maybe next round. For now, let me just get the slides up and share screen. Computer's moving a little slow. Come on, there it is. Okay, so welcome to Community Call 66. We have a lot of great updates. This is a really special call. But before I get into why it's so special, for sure, let's just go through the normal stuff. We dish praise. We have a very praise-heavy culture, but we don't just do it during this call. Anytime you see anybody doing something especially awesome, give them some praise. It's our way of trying to reward qualitative value production in our community. So, we use SourceCred and we use all these other bots to measure things you can quantify. But when people are just being awesome and raising the vibes, how do they get rewarded for that? So we're battle testing the praise system. You can dish praise in any channel. And if you don't know how to dish praise, go ahead and ask any steward and we'll walk you through it. Also, turn on your videos. It's time to say cheese. This is the TEC smile. You got TEC tokens in your wallet. So we like to take these pictures for the YouTube video. So it's really fun. So you can get your smile in there. Remember, you got TEC tokens. Yeah. There's some good smiles. Love it. Perfect. Oh, yeah. Okay, someone will grab a good screenshot out of that. So remember, I just want to add another thing, like, why are we here? What are we doing? How do we do it? We try to uphold our values. So the values of the TEC, our commons operates from a pro-social, human-centered perspective, and we prioritize the advancement of token engineering over short-term profits, even though we have a token. Integrity, curiosity, constructive inquiry, presence, and gratitude are foundational for maintaining mutual respect within our growing community. We encourage our members to be radically open source, non-hierarchical, transparent in their intentions, and accountable for their actions. This is what we try to do here in the TEC. Hopefully you guys can help us do it. Also, another thing that keeps our community really strong is gravity. Gravity is holding us all together all the time, right? Bringing us together. Well, we have this team that act as a force of nature to repair any kind of tears in our relational fabric. So if you see some awkwardness between people, let's catch it early before conflicts grow out of that weirdness, you know? So we have the active gravitons on Discord. You can, if you're having problems with someone or you see problems between two people, just like mention it there so we can, behind the scenes, it's not a big deal. It's just like behind the scenes, we make sure everything is lovey-dovey, right? Also, if you want to just make an anonymous report, you can use the Gravity type form, fill out the form. It's linked right here in the slides. And you can just tell, hey, you don't have to, I just saw someone get someone else's name wrong. I want to make sure that they get it right. That's it. And then process. Before making big decisions, talk to the people who will be affected by the decisions and talk to the experts on the topic. If you do that, then you can really own whatever process you're in charge of and know that you'll be informed to make the right decisions. And sometimes they'll conflict. It's okay. You don't have to take everyone's advice. You just need to go get the advice and then understand what their concerns are. And then you can address them when you have to do what you have to do, especially when two people have conflicting advice, right? But it's good to know that beforehand. And the big announcement, of course, is that we are in the middle of the Commons upgrade. You have TEC tokens. If you were a hatcher, you have TEC tokens. And we're pushing forward with the Goldilocks thing. So there is a vote out there right now, but I'll show you how to vote in the Common Swarm section, and we'll talk more about the vote there. But it's happening. So I'll pass it to the Steward of Stewards, Tam, to take us from here.
Cool. So I feel like the title of the first slide says it all. Sprint 25 was straight up fire. I mean, the vote happened. That was a week ago. It feels like it was months ago. Juanca presented the TEC, the Stewards Council on does TEC culture matter. The Commons upgrade is underway. There's a debut of the quantifying dashboard. It was jam-packed, and it was really, really an intense and really amazing sprint. And I'm really excited to kick it off. And the working group updates will share that and a lot more. So if you go to this link sprint board, it will take you to the TEC sprint board. Tomorrow we're going to plan Sprint 26. So this board is going to be empty and replanned with the pieces of work that we'll be working on for the next 2-week period. On the side of this slide are the working group calls. We have a weekly call every Wednesday, calls every other Thursday, and every Thursday and every other Friday. Everyone's invited to join. It's not just for stewards, and you can also watch on the Steward YouTube channel. And on the next slide, I gotta say, I didn't have the heart to take this off. We are all Goldilocks now. I don't know how long I'm gonna leave it there, but it's just so sentimental that I couldn't delete it. Sprint retrospective. So at the end of our sprint, we do this same thing. We look at what went well, what we could do better, and actions to improve. And now we have quite a collection of these retrospectives that we've been doing. It's really impressive. Praise to Ivy, who sets up these boards for us every sprint. So what went well? There is so much. We took some time to celebrate the things that went really well for ourselves personally, for our working group, or in the community this 2-week period. What we could do better, so things that didn't go maybe as well as they could have. And the action to improve is having a promotion for the ABC launch and taking that as a priority into the sprint. What's on the stewards' minds this week? So we always kick off with a temperature check. There was a lot of praise for Juanca because it was really an exceptional presentation he gave. We also did a review of Commons, the Commons upgrade timeline. Chui shared news about the Dawn DAO, which is the Daoists DAO, and the TEC delegate for that DAO. Chewy also did a demo of the DWork platform, and that was very cool to see. And then we started talking a little bit about the proposal inverter. So Mert is acting as a sort of liaison between PrimeDAO and TEC. Mitch volunteered to take on doing discovery for the scope and shape of how the TEC will be involved in this as a collaboration or as a project. The proposal inverter is a I'm probably going to not explain it as well as YGG or someone else can, but if you could imagine, the way it was explained to me by, I think it was Austin in PrimeDAO, it is that it is a way to submit proposals and then have different DAOs fund the proposals and then actively look for researchers that have the caliber to execute on those proposals. So sort of inverting the process of proposals. And I apologize if I got that wrong, guys, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. It's going to be very helpful for being able to have proposals get funded by multiple DAOs, which is something that is done very piecemeal today. Take a look at this forum post if it's interesting to you. It's really interesting for us and how we can move forward with it. The Token Engineering Academy, Token Engineering Commons joint monthly introduction to token engineering is now going to be a thing. So we'll keep going forward with the two of us, with the two groups presenting together. There's a February date that hasn't been determined yet. One of my favorite posts on the forum is this weekly update that Manu does. It's back, and it is just just a quick read of everything that's going on per working group. It's sort of a way to catch up on the TEC in like 5 minutes. And then there's also lots of other stuff on the forum. You know, these visual explainers, if you want to see what a commons is. I have a tiny little version on this slide, but you can also jump in the forum, look for visual explainers, and see how the commons is structured with the augmented bonding curve, conviction voting, and disputable voting. And maybe the last thing is, you know, I always, Twitter retweets are love. So show love to the TEC by retweeting, and I always love to share my favorite of the time. And today I gotta say, Social Fridays, 3 birds with 1 tweet, TEC, Metagame, One Hive. It's a very cool thing all of these 3 communities are doing, is having really chill out sessions for people to just get to know each other instead of to be on a call doing work or just listening to other people present. It's a social interaction session. So the working group funding proposal is on the forum for advice process. And yeah, that's it. So it's my pleasure to pass to Wonka and Gravity.
Thanks, Tam. Well, in Gravity, one of the cool things is that we have our funding proposal for advice process in the forum, and that until today, you can fill a Google form if you want to participate in the activities that we will be developing for the following months. So basically you can give us feedback for our advice process. And until today, if you want to participate in Gravity, you can fill the type form. I am really happy that a lot of people already filled the type form, and we will try to have everyone into account into the different roles and activities that we will be doing. Also, after this call, we will have a skill practice space. It's not a very prepared space, but we will have a meeting in the Gravity call, in the Gravity voice channel, if you want to continue after this call. We are also using ZenHub to keep the registry of cases and DWork to coordinate bounties. We have 2 arms, and both of them work together. One is for trust creation, education, and training towards competence. And the other one is for conflict management services. So I am really happy the way that things are going in this project. And if you feel that you can collaborate, feel free to DM me or DM any of the people that you see actively participating in the Gravity chat here in Discord. So yeah, I think that in some weeks Maybe we will be even putting our proposal in the for conviction voting, and also showing to the public a calendar of planned activities that we will be doing for around 3 months. So yeah, everyone is invited to continue contributing, and I will pass it to the Commons Forum.
Oh, nice. Hey, everyone. Thank you so much, Wonka. Yeah, the Common Swarm had a pretty eventful week, I would say. We upgraded the DAO. We upgraded the Hatch DAO into a Commons, so it's happening. It's still kind of in the process. In the end, we had to wait for a 6-day vote in the Hatch DAO. Well, a 4-day vote and 2 days rage quit period to upgrade to the Commons. And then yesterday, we had the actual, like, that 6-day period was over. And so now we're starting a 5.5-day voting period. Well, 5-day voting period and half a day, 12 hours execution delay period for the bonding curve to actually open. So yesterday was really exciting. Sem, Paulo, and I, and Nugget, and Vitor, and Lauren, and a lot of people, or Bradley, we're all kind of like supporting this, but it was really, especially Paulo and Sem, obviously. And we had a problem where Block Scout was actually missing one of our hatchers. We thought we had 271 hatchers because we thought we could trust our Block Explorer. But we can't. Actually, we had 272 hatchers the whole time. There was a secret hatcher that wasn't on the Block Scout, and it's 0x Joshua. 0x Joshua from Opolis was our hidden hatcher. He was the golden Easter egg that made like a 4-hour delay in our launch. And a lot of chaos finding it. It wasn't his fault, though. It was Block Scout not showing us all the hatchers. What happened was that there were 272 hatchers, and when we did the Commons upgrade, we had to actually go and claim for each one of those hatchers. So we needed the address for each hatcher. So we just scraped that off Block Scout. But then we were missing 5,000 tokens. Well, and we couldn't figure it out, but eventually we figured out it was 0x Joshua the whole time. So that's really fun. And now all of the tokens are minted. Once we had those last tokens minted, we could actually launch the vote for the bonding curve. And that happened at 3:18 p.m. our time. 4 hours later than it should have. But now that means that 5.5 days from that moment, we will actually have the bonding curve live. We will have the reward system will have some TEC tokens, and the conviction voting, people can buy tokens in the bonding curve to make proposals in conviction voting, and we'll have the full Commons open. And I'll probably be asleep, which is really sad because it's a special moment. But, if you're in Europe or Asia, it's really easy. If you're on the West Coast, you might be able to stay up for it. It'll be 1:18 a.m. LA time, 10 a.m. in the morning, 10:18 if you're in Europe, if Central Europe time. So that's really exciting. And let me just go through what this vote actually is. So we are upgrading to the adjusted Goldilocks parameters V2, which I'll talk about in the params session. Here, I think this is the vote. So what this vote does is it opens the bonding curve. So it grants a couple of permissions to the DAO to actually transfer money. When we did the Hatch DAO migration, we didn't know exactly how many people would rage quit or not. So because we assumed more people would rage quit than did, we had some extra money and extra tokens. So we had to adjust the parameter sets. So these transfers are us adjusting the parameter sets. This first one actually sends 15K to the initial buy. So with the initial buy, instead of being 250, we're going to buy $265,000 worth of tokens for the DAO to collectively govern. And then we're going to transfer 34,000 wrapped XDAI from the reserve. I think it's from the reserve to the funding pool, to the common pool. And that will get the numbers just right for Goldilocks to launch. So those are those transfers. Then we remove the ability for DAO voting to actually take money out of the bonding curve. So these first two votes allow DAO voting to transfer, these first two lines allow DAO voting to transfer out of the reserve and out of the common pool so it can make these transfers. And then we remove the power to transfer out of the reserve because we don't want the DAO voting to have that power. The bonding curve reserve collateral is like off limits, okay? Of course, we can always take it back through a vote. But we did leave the power over the common pool for DAO voting in the case that we want to make a large vote. Who is that? John Jonas, could you mute? Thanks. Thanks, man. And then, yeah, and so then that's what this does. That revokes that permission from the bonding curve. And then we have to add the wrapped XDAI as a whitelisted collateral token for the bonding curve itself. And I'll get to this one in a second. This one is actually making the initial buy and buying the So this one is just making the approve for wrapped XDAI. And to actually execute this proposal, which is sending the wrapped XDAI to the bonding curve and minting TC tokens. Okay, so that's what we got. So that's this vote. I'm gonna vote yes right now. So it's super easy. If you have TC hash tokens, you can approve this vote. You don't see my MetaMask, but it costs 1/10 of a penny. Gas on XDAI is so nice. And that's it. That's it for the Common Swarm. Go out there and vote. And I'll pass it to Olivia for SoftGov.
Thanks, Griff. Please share my screen. So in SoftGov this week, we had a discussion of what are the lessons learned from the Commons upgrade process. And there was a lot of really great feedback. So I got a few that I want to share with you all. So my hypothesis that people would choose the money-oriented proposal was wrong. It's awesome to see we have value-aligned members. Separating params would be great, separating modules one at a time because it was too much info. Understanding ranked choice voting better. Yeah, this is something Tam is working on a post about this to explain a little bit better quadratic ranked choice voting because we understood that maybe there was some voter bias because of how the information was displayed on Snapshot. And reflecting on Latin American history, here the decision-making process hasn't been the same as the rest of the world. It was so big to imagine the effect this can have in society. I learned a lot to be vulnerable along all the process and take feedback from people as they are also in a safe space to be vulnerable. This is impactful to how we reflect on each other's decisions. Excited to learn more about formal token engineering. By interacting with this process, it broke the ice to look into TE. I think this is my favorite one because it's so aligned with our mission, and it's super beautiful to see that this process actually led to outcomes like this, and that we understand so much complexity, and we have all stewards have such a deep understanding, and also many other members of the community. And in the Common Swarm, there was a lot of complications, and maybe we have to look more into the learnings from here with Griff, but there was a lot of very interesting things shared of how we would do different if we had another chance. And then also we discussed a little bit of praise culture. It's been a long time that we don't talk about the cultural implications of praise, and we've been working so hard in the dashboard and the reward system. So it was good to talk about this here and draft some ideas and proposals, and then bring it to the reward working group for implementation if possible. So we realized that the engagement on praise lowered a lot, and I think one of the reasons for that is the gamification of the leaderboard. So we used to have a leaderboard every 2 weeks that would show the scores of everyone receiving praise, but we haven't had that since the hatch. And I think that for sure impacts the activity of praise and the engagement, just because people don't see the return on what they're doing. But I want to encourage you all to continue praising, because today we had our first test quant, and I'll talk more about that in the rewards working group. And just in the community call, how does it feel to praise? Do you feel good to have this verbal praise in the beginning of the call? I think this feels good for a lot of us, and we just wanted to question this back and circle around and hear what are the impressions from this first round of praise and how does it affect us culturally. And then there are two other ideas that probably will make it to the reward working group that are creating some categories based on the token engineering flower and having an opt-out option from praise if someone doesn't want to receive the rewards, but they want to receive the recognition from the contributions they had. So that was it for SoftGov this week, and I'll pass to Eduardo with Comunitas.
Thank you, Livy. Hello, everyone. So basically, the Comunitas working group has three important meetings. The first one is the weekly call and the weekly sync for the working group, and it happens on Monday, 8 p.m. CET. We usually it's a coordination call. Everyone is welcome to join and help us. The Comunitas working group is a working group dedicated to community building. So if you're interested on this aspect, you're more than welcome to join. We also then have the orientation call, which happens on Wednesday, 6 p.m. CET. And it's a call where we basically introduce you to the TEC. We ask questions and we try to know more about you. And then we have the TEC Lounge, which happens on Fridays, 5 p.m. And the TEC Lounge, it's a hangout space to basically meet the people, meet the humans behind the screen, and to try to connect with each other in a different level outside the workspace. And finally, then these three calls are open. Everyone can join at any moment. It doesn't matter if it says that it's a 5 or it's a 6 or it's an 8. You can join at 6:30 if you feel like. Everyone will welcome you if you do so. And then this week has been quite calm. We we had one of the orientation calls paused for the vote, and then we resumed the orientation call this week. And we had a huge attending for this week, actually, as you may see in the screenshot on the screen. And this was due to the T Academy introduction. A lot of our orientation call was just after the introduction to T Academy. So a lot of people were interested to know about the TEC. So we had so many different backgrounds, people from Brussels, people from Russia, people from the States, people calling from the desert. So it was a really interesting orientation call. So yeah, if you want to know more about that, you can join any orientation call. Right now, we are working in a few ends. One of the ends is to work on the guides. The guides have started working. So, for example, here, Jean, Present, Manu, and David are working as guides. And the role you can see on the Discord server. And basically, it's people who are accessible to anyone who needs guidance, have questions, or just needs a one-on-one and a deeper understanding about the TEC. So that's a little bit about the guides. And then we are also working on MS, particularly, is working on the lifecycle membership and also the statistics of the Discord server for the past month, thanks to Septimus. So we are trying to gain momentum again after the vote and keep building the community around the TEC and see where that takes us. So that's a little bit about what we have done this week, and I will pass it on to the Mega Working Group.
Yeah, actually, I don't see Mert, Shebnem, or Mount Manu. Did anyone go to Mega Working Group this round? If not, I can wing it. I'm always good at that. Omega is here to really cement token engineering ethics. Clearly that's needed, right? We don't need to be building the future of future economies to enslave humanity. We need to make sure that they actually help us, and that's Omega is really important to to take on that research. So they have a call in 6 days on January 26th at 8 p.m. Europe time, and they meet every other week. So definitely join them if you want to help make sure that we don't screw up too big with all this token engineering stuff. And with that, I'll pass it to YGG in Labs.
Hey, thanks, Griff. Yeah, I did go to the Omega call this past week. It was really fun. We had an what's the word? You guys know what I'm talking about. Someone who studies people join us. His name, I can't even pronounce it. That's how much I know. His name was George, and really interesting to get that perspective. And he was just kind of getting started by the end of the call. So looking forward to future iterations of that. So let's go to the tech labs where things make sense. So a couple new introductions. We had the presentation from the TE Academy and TE Commons. Major praise to Juanca and Peter for putting that on. Hugely educational and going to be attracting a lot of new token engineers, I think. So any of you new people in this call, check out these opportunities. Tech Labs are really building momentum and getting hot with the Solidity Development Workshop series put on by Metaverde. They went through Crypto Zombies, and they're going through Scaffold ETH, and I'm jealous that I'm not able to make those blocks, but really praise to everyone who is showing up and learning Solidity there. Also, major announcement, ViViV and YGG team up. So we have this idea of creating a Discord bot army. Both ViViV and me are really excited about automation in Discord and Discord bots. So we're going to do we're thinking about 6 or 8 weeks. That's going to be in the Tech Lab starting March 4th and tentatively going through till May 6th. So if you've ever been interested in making Discord bots, be sure to tune in for that series. A few other announcements. The DAO to DAO Models Workshop happening every week in Prime DAO. The proposal inverter is picking up major momentum. We've been getting really good feedback from the community here. There is a forum post there if you want to check that out, proposing the TEC to be a payer on the initial deployment of the proposal inverter, which is actually funding the development of the proposal inverter. We love this meta circular feedback loop stuff here in the TEC. Really exciting. Check that out. Prime DAO server is really cool. They're doing lots of cool stuff. We have some token engineering office hours held in Longtail Financial Discord Tuesdays and Thursdays at noon PST. That's 9 p.m. Central European Time. And Block Science open office hours every Thursday, 9 a.m. for an hour. That's with Dr. Zargum and the Block Science team and lots of brilliant geniuses from around the space. And finally, I've compiled all of these events into a calendar. So we have the Longtail Financial calendar, which has all of these events plus a few more. So if you're interested in the laboratory side of token engineering, then be sure to add that calendar. Yeah, and become as busy as Griff. So thanks everyone for the floor, and I'll pass over to Chewy with comms.
Thanks, YGG. So in comms, we have our DWork platform ready to go. And our teams have different updates. Right now, the TE Academy team is, we are starting to do a weekly sync with the TE Academy, especially after yesterday's call. It was very, very helpful for the new contributors to start getting a better sense of some of the plans that we're going to be working on. The animation and video production team started pre-production for quantification tutorial. This makes me very, very excited, especially around the workflow that they are proposing. HubSpot is having some mailing list updates. We discussed starting like a more organic mailing list that we can have a better engagement with. So Mano has been working really hard on that. And about translations, we have first translations in review, and I would really like to praise Gustavo for pushing that, and Edgar Web3, who is starting to review these translations work. And at last, we have the Twitter planning, and we have a new Airtable workspace that Acid Laser has been putting together. So major praise to him. This is just a better organizational tool that we're going to be able to count with. So we're no longer using Twitter. This is much easier, faster. So if anyone would like to amplify any kind of message or updates in the TEC, feel free to join our new Airtable. And praise to Ivy also for raising this in the common stack. And Tam, of course, for giving us this recommendation. And I'll pass it now to Septi in Transparency.
Thank you, Chu. Yeah, on Transparency, we meet like every 2 weeks. But actually, we meet this week. But actually, the next week we are going to have like a kind of an offboarding session. Like Ratio is going to join us, and if anyone wants to join Transparency, we're going to do like the same schedule we do. Like normally, the calls is 5 p.m. CT. And this week we were focusing on analysis. We did decision tracking. We updated after all these snapshot votes, and also we implement we were finding with this ranked choice voting, this sheet was not accurate. So we implemented single choice, ranked choice voting, conviction voting, and top voting. So when we have all these decisions, we can have all these decisions in one document, and this document is going to help us to fill the point 3 of the audit, and then we're focusing on doing analysis. YouTube and Medium analysis. Ivy had this great idea of having in slides. On the Discord analysis, sadly, is on a PDF, but I'll try to make it in a Ivy in analytics, so we can compare it better. And especially in Discord analytics, kudos to Communitas. The growth is huge, and if you would like to compare both two documents, actually I have both of them, but I can also post it the old one on Transparency, but it's also posted on Transparency. It's on the I don't have a link. It's a PDF document which is on Transparency chat, so anyone who want to see those analytics, just go there and check it out. And with that, I'll pass it to Griff for legal.
Thanks, Zep. I'll be real quick with legal. The big stuff is, if you know any legal experts, we need help. We're launching a token. Oh my God, who wants to help? No, I'm just kidding. We're pretty well set, but with the token launch, but we always need more legal expertise to join our bi-weekly syncs that happen every 2 weeks. And on Fridays, they're really fun. I don't think it's tomorrow. I think it's the next round. We are currently still reviewing the conviction voting proposal terms and conditions. The terms and conditions for the bonding curve. Actually, I think Ivy just put the parameters in. So now I just need to add some links. I'll do that tonight. We'll get that on IPFS. So it'll be there when the bonding curve opens. So that before you buy TEC tokens in that bonding curve, you'll have to click that checkbox. If you want to read through what is on that checkbox, feel free to join us every other Friday at 4 p.m. CET. And I'll pass it to myself for params. Params this is officially the last time you'll hear me. I thought I was actually going to delete the slides today, but no, we did do some params work. So a special shout out goes to all the params team who made all this possible. Mitch, Marco, Nuggin, Lauren, Manu, Vitor, YGG, Sem, and Fabio and Pedro, and Nate, and Zepti. Especially Pedro, Vitor, Mitch, Nuggin, who really killed it at the end. But we had to make some small adjustments in the parameter set. So adjusting Goldilocks V2. If you want to play with the real parameters, please check this slide. It's super cool. You can go check out issue 150 in GitHub. You can also import the parameters into the dashboard right? And then you can see if you want to be like, oh, conviction voting, how is this going to work? I'm going to make a proposal. How many votes will I need? And all of these things. You want to see how the bonding curve works and actually, see how the price will advance. All of this is now accurate to so this, what's really cool is these dashboards go from being design assistance to, actual decision assistance after the actual launch. So now we have this to actually understand how the bonding curve will relate when people make buys and sells, and we can see how conviction voting proposals will pass or not. So like for instance, the 50K vote, 50K request that Token Engineering Academy is asking for. Assuming we have this much in the common pool, then what happens? How many votes will it take? So very interesting stuff. Don't be afraid to play with the dashboard, and thank you all for a great parameters working group sesh. Bye everyone. And I'll pass it to rewards working group.
Thank you. So we had our first task quant today. That was super exciting, and it works. We had, I think, 20 something people in the call today that registered to be in the quantification pool. So this is how it looks. I showed it a little bit already last week, but there was some improvements. And this is a bug that some faces are appearing here. It will be all anon very soon. But yeah, it was really great. We had some discussions that came up of like, how should I gauge things? How do I do about a praise that I don't know what it means? All of these questions that are things that we'll need to discuss more, and it just like brings up the subjective nature of praise and why this system is so special and why we're doing all of these improvements, because there's really a lot of room for just for conversation, for cultural insights, and for all the work to be rewarded fairly. So there's some here it is. There's also a GitHub repository here that you can submit issues that you had with the task quant. And if you weren't a part of this task quant today, you can still be a part of it. I don't know if this will show. Can you see the Discord page here?
Yeah.
Cool. So if Mitch made a really good post about the steps you need to make to become a quantifier. It's really easy. You just have to go to this test server, and there you need to put down /activate /praise activate, and then you'll see a command to link your wallet and sign up with your wallet. And now there is a little bug that you have to sign up, and then after you do, you sign out, and then you sign in again to be able to see the whole page. But all of these things are being fixed. And for the real quant that will happen soon, we'll have everything smooth and working well, thanks to Christopher and Nabs and the whole front and back end team.
How long is the test trial quant going for? Do you know?
It's for 5 days. So we'll have the results for the next call of the rewards working group. We'll have a lot of the improvements and the results already, and be able to schedule the new one.
Awesome. Well, that is. Do you feel complete, Livia?
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Thank you all so much for coming to this really special community call. This is the first community call where we have TEC tokens. All you can do with it is vote, though. So go try your tokens take your tokens for a spin. Go vote on that opening the bonding curve. We still need more votes. So we haven't passed it yet, get out there, have fun with your TEC, and next week we'll have a bonding curve and we'll have some price action. That will be wild. Thank you all. And after this is Gravity, I believe, right, Wonka? Where are you doing Gravity in the Gravity channel just up here?
Yeah, we will have a skill practice